Hey TL, what's going on over there?
All the laws,
Oh, sorry.
all the laws are just meant to protect them from us, pretty much. None of the laws really benefit any of like common or people. The way
Can I ask Spencer a question?
Sure, go for it.
yeah.
Spencer on here, yeah?
But rise up, mate.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay.
You wanna go?
What do you think about the Irish government spending 32% of GDP on their bank scams rise?
Oh, I think it's an absolute fucking disgrace, basically. In fact, it could be more than that. I think we're talking it could be 48 billion now or something.
Holy
These
Christ.
banks gambled in the good days. They basically went to Vegas for a couple of weeks and lost everything, and they're going back now and looking for a handout. And we've got to pay for that.
Yes, I think
Something
that's
right
true.
there.
Do you think Ireland is going to rise, Brian?
Eventually, yes. But I think we're going to go through some tough times. We're going to go through some very tough times. But it's not just here. I mean, the States is going to hit it. UK, Europe.
Yeah. Well, I refuse to call it the UK because I live in England, you live in Ireland, and there's Wales and Scotland too, isn't there?
That's it. Yeah.
So it's not a United Kingdom, especially when you go over to Scotland or Ireland or Wales and see how different people live. So it's not a United Kingdom, that is a disgusting little thing that common parents put on us, I think. What's better words? It's not an English, it's not a United Kingdom. We all live different lives.
Well, I think when they mean united, they're united in one purpose, which is like the whole economy, and this is how we live. This is civilization. They don't take into consideration that people in Scotland might do things differently to people in England or in Ireland. We all have our little differences.
Precisely.
They're trying to unite us under one kind of banner, which they call modern civilization, which is, it's not civilization, is it? It's a lot of shit.
Well, those Highland cannibals need civilization.
Where's Stu? Stu's all like that. Get him on. Well, they fought. The Romans never made it to Scotland or Ireland. I wonder why that was.
Yeah, hey, what do you think about the theory that the Phoenicians actually had like early colonies there? You think that's bullshit or what?
It's quite possible.
Yeah, that's really interesting stuff. Yeah, when you consider early.
That the Celts came from Iraq originally, or around that, Middle East. So it could be true. But there's a lot of evidence to show that. But, we don't know for definite.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird similarities between like Phoenician religion, ancient mystery religions, whatever, and the druidic stuff from Ireland and Britannia and Gaul, I guess.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. I haven't studied it that much, but I mean, there's definite similarities in all these places on the western fringe of Europe.
Yeah, I haven't studied it in depth. I've just sort of skimmed, but yeah, it's. I think Tessarian. I think Tessarian. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, if you look at the whole western fringe of Europe, like from Scotland down through Ireland, Wales, Brittany and France, and those parts of Spain, they're all Celtic, and they're very similar. The languages are even kind of quite similar. And
Yeah.
there's definitely some connection there.
Yep.
But I think it just goes so far backwards.
Yeah, I think Michael Tessarian talks a lot about that, about the early Phoenicians developing colonies in Ireland.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't really read any of his stuff. I just saw his videos online, but he's pretty interesting. I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of his stuff is pretty intriguing, I must admit.
Yeah, he's from Ireland.
He's done a lot of research. You know, you have to give him that. People accuse him of plagiarism sometimes, you know, but he gets the information out there. It's great.
Yeah, well, I can see how they would do that, only because, I mean, in this community, this alternative research community, I mean, there's only so much research we can all go over, before we're stomping on somebody else's research, I mean, yeah. So what can one do?
I don't know when it comes to science and research, plagiarism isn't so bad because, like, what scientists do is they build upon the research of people, like, ahead of them. They don't, that's how you really start to grow. Is standing on, taking what other people have learned and then developing further ideas from it.
Yeah, Cappy, you were gonna say something?
Sometimes they get fed up with research and go down the pub.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to work. That is the way to work. If I didn't get out of the fucking house, I'd do the same. Alright, chaps. That's fine. Alright, Brian, and everyone else, how's everybody tonight?
Hey TL, have you seen the latest This Is TL video?
I've seen it.
Very good, Charlie. Well done.
Oh, you saw it? The latest? No, the latest one.
Yeah, I saw it in the chat room.
Oh, that's cool. Awesome, man.
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. What can I say?
Your
You're a star, mate.
your legend is spreading far and wide. The legend of TL is spreading far and wide, ladies and gentlemen, far and wide.
Yeah, I was singing that song.
Okay, lads. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
This is TL, the Sumerian god Eldest.
And you're on the fucking round table. Now back to the show.
All right, CL. Hey, what's going on in the news this week, CL? You're our roving reporter, man.
I don't really feel a lot of news, as you know.
Hey, no, I meant CK. I called you CL. Sorry, man. That's my initials. Those are my initials. No, but yeah, I heard your show on Preston yesterday, man. Why don't you give that a quick plug? I mean, for the people who want to download the podcast, and tell us a little bit about what you were talking about.
Well, we were looking at, all the things that's been going on. We're trying to come up with ideas, solutions, where we need to start, so forth.
All right. Well, what's the name of his show again?
We were on question 46 with John, Preston, and Jeff.
Okay.
Gas and tea. Who is out getting ready to close gas and tea? Alright, so we were talking about finding ways and solutions where we need to start, which of course we start with us and family first.
Yeah. Yep.
So too, we were talking about, when you get frustrated, and this was a good point that Nemo brought up. When you get frustrated, are you frustrated because we cannot convince that person to think like us?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a very good, and it's a hard question for a lot of people to answer. Because a lot of times we're not thinking, pardon me? Oh, okay. Thanks, Cap. What's so odd about that, we don't have to think about it. Are we getting angry because we're not getting them to join the herd like us? That's a good
I think ego has a lot to do with a lot of that. Yeah, I think you got a good point there.
Yeah, well, we know that they're brainwashing and manipulating people, and do we want to do that to other people? I mean, do we want them to just be into
Well, that's the only way, I mean, to make a real difference, I think, if you know, people come up with these conclusions on their own, you know, and a fire starts burning in their belly, just like all of it's doing in all of our bellies, you know.
You know, so and I thought you brought up an excellent point because we need to look at ourselves first and how we bring the information to people. Are we trying to force them, or are we just trying to, you know, show them? We can't force people because when you force people, it makes them run.
Definitely.
You know, it makes them run. So we wanna give them the information and let them decide for themselves. Don't force them. Don't do like they commercial. Don't pressure it and just blow them up. Sorry.
But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I
try to make people drink their Kool-Aid.
yeah, it's our Kool-Aid. But yeah, I mean, like, but you get, you know, you just get frustrated, and you know that one person can't make a difference.
But then again, man, what we got on our side is the truth, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying. So it's not like we're trying to shove a bunch of crap down someone's throat. So.
Right. And that's something we don't want to do. We don't shove crap down people's throat. When we want to give them information, we need to at least give them the facts. Not our opinion, not what we think, but the facts.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
Amen.
Now, does anybody in this room know exactly, without a doubt, who did 9/11? No, but
There's-
using this as an example, can we name the name? Do we have documented evidence that shows that certain individuals were involved?
Well, no, because they're expert crooks, and that's how they they work like that. So you can't name a name, you know.
I
Yeah.
talked about that before. That's an art of war strategy where you remain formless, and then the second you take a form on, and like we could actually point to who did 9/11, then we could actually maybe start to do something about it. But they made us so ignorant that none of us were just grasping at straws that they've given us, pretty much.
Right. So, with that being said, if we give people information, one of the ways that some of us have found ways to do this is to give people information that they're used to reading from sites they're used to reading from. An example. Alright? You can go to London Telegraph, sometimes you can go to Washington Post, and you can find the very article that's posted in their paper version, which is way in the back. However, online, it's an upfront newspaper. Okay? So you give them that, and they go look at it, and they're like, wow, I didn't know this was going on. Because it's never talked about.
CK, I never knew you were such a domestic terrorist before, but I'm calling the feds right now. You're just you're a dangerous man. Thought criminal, thought criminal.
Well, look, I wrote an article, my first article that I wrote for World Updated News about the people that had created the video 1010.org, blowing people up. Now, in the video, when you watch people being blown up, and the way that they're talking to folks, that in the very definition, when you look up the government's definition of terrorism, the definition of terrorism is by any definition terrorist.
Yeah.